So, you are about to read a Greek tragedy, Medea by Euripides. Couple of things. I just want to give you a few things to be aware of before you begin. So, what the Athenians expected from a tragedy was that it would be very serious, very sorrowful, quite horrific, quite dreadful, and fascinating. They basically wanted to be distressed by things that would be utterly horrific outside of the theater. Um, Even possibilities so terrible that they could only be contemplated under the controlled circumstance of the theater. So keep that in mind. They were prepared for tragic in all sense of the word. Even with that said, um, Medea was first actually very poorly received because it was thought that Euripides overstepped the bounds of tragedy and kind of included something so dreadful and so horrific that the audience was just like, no. Um, as I've said way earlier in this lecture, the Greek playwrights wrote plays based on common myths. So his audience would have been aware of the myth of Medea. Um, I'm going to give you a little bit of the synopsis, actually, of what would have happened before the play Medea takes place. Now, I'm not really giving you any spoilers here. This is stuff that Euripides' audience would have known about, and the characters in Medea will talk about this stuff as if you, the reader, will know all this background information because Euripides' audience. Sorry, my children are making some noise. Euripides' audience would have been assumed to know all these facts. So none of these are spoilers. This isn't stuff that happens during the play. This is stuff that happens before the play takes place. So Medea was the granddaughter of the sun god Helios, and she ran away from her father's house to marry the hero Jason of Jason and the Argonauts. And she helps Jason and the Argonauts steal the golden fleece from her father. And her brother is killed in the process. So a lot of bloodshed, a lot of being a traitor to her family, and she elopes. She marries Jason as they run away together to Greece. So she sacrifices a lot. She runs away with Jason to Greece, where she is an outsider. She is not from there. Jason is from there. And then they settle together in Corinth, in Greece. And Medea bears him two sons. She has two sons with him. And then, and this is kind of where we start the play Medea, Jason breaks his oath to her and decides he wants to marry King Creon's daughter because that is his ticket to the throne. So then we are at the start of the play Medea, and she is dealing with this perceived betrayal by Jason, of course. And this is all stuff that is in the myth Medea that the audience of Euripides would have been very familiar with. Now, Euripides puts a very big twist on this. I'm not going to tell you what it is. And he twists up the ending of the play and makes it his own. And this was, and his ending was completely shocking to the audience. His version of Medea actually came in last, dead last, at the drama festival. And most historians attribute that to the fact that the audience was just like, whoa, that was too much. That was too severe. We were here for tragedy, but even this is just too tragic. But interestingly enough, despite that first response, this play quickly became a true classic. And anyone else who wrote a version of Medea after Euripides did, because there have been others written. Anyone else used his version, his ending, because it just became like the way to tell the story. So I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you are able to think about elements of this lecture as you are reading through Medea. That is the whole point of this lecture, is to kind of like guide your reading of Medea, guide our discussion board this week, and guide our thoughts about theater history in terms of the ancient Greeks. So wonderful. I'll see you in the discussions. I can't wait to see and hear your reactions to Medea as we move forward. So thanks for being with me through this. And if you have any questions, of course, send me some emails. We can always set up a Zoom office hour. I'm definitely super happy to do that, of course. And before it gets any